Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Room Liberty, and with me is
Fuaz Muhammad Yusuf.
And today we got some stuff. We've got Microsoft Games of Gold. We've got Dark Souls 3 DLC gameplay. We got Street Fighter 5 DLC, Dishonored 2 gameplay, Creative Kills, and Mafia 3, How to Make Money. Before we get into that, let's talk about what we played this week. So I basically didn't really play that much. I played Rainbow Six Siege with a couple of my friends yesterday, and yeah, that was rough because boy, do I suck at that game. Like, I used to be okay. I think back in the day, but I feel like it's one of those games where the people who are really good at Rainbow Six Siege, those are the only people that are left. You know.
Yeah.
There's no like medium level of skill left. Yeah. So I'm kind of like it's either we've got some really good players on our team and we it's a stomp, or it's it's the opposite in which we get our asses kicked and there's not even a chance. So that kind of sucks in a way. I mean, the game's still a lot of fun. I played on the new maps. New maps are really cool. And we played Terrorist Hunt, which was a lot of fun. It's I like Terrorist Hunt in this new game, but I still don't think it's as good as the Terrorist Hunt in Rainbow Six Vegas 2. Because there was so much more customizable options and stuff like that. I don't know. I enjoyed the Terrorist Hunt more in Rainbow Six Vegas 2 than I did in this version of the game. Other than that, just did some more tabletop stuff. My friend's trying to get me into X-Wing. Yep, huge nerd. And yeah, that's pretty much what I played this week. What about you, Fawaz?
Okay, so I finally started playing Divinity.
Nice.
For real.
For real.
So I haven't made it too far though. I made it through the tutorial dungeon and then I made it to the town. I got to the murder scene. Let me just say that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then after I got back, I was trying to figure out if there's any mage in the hub city that I can recruit, and that's pretty much where I stopped because I recruited this one chick. She's from the same order as us, some older chick like this. But I really want a mage because my main character is an archer. My secondary character is a warrior. So I really want a mage to round things out. But I can't find one right now, and I don't want to look it up. But then I know I'm going to, so yeah.
I mean, I can try and look it up for you or whatnot. I don't mind doing that.
Yeah.
Because I would love to co-op with you.
Yeah. Unfortunately, when I started playing it, you weren't online, and but yeah, I could already see because there's the dialogue stuff right between the two characters.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, I'm playing by myself right now.
So you get to choose what both characters say.
Yeah. But I was like, this would probably be really interesting if I had a second character, if Tana was here or something that.
Did you make an online game then?
Yes, I think
okay,
I
cool.
did.
Because that means as long as you've done that, I can join whenever and play as your second character.
Okay. Yeah, so we can try that out. And if it turns out I didn't, then I can just start again. Because I'm far enough in that it's kind of irritating, but I'm not so far that I'm going to lose sleep over it, and I can just start again and do it right this time. But I think I did it right. I think I made an online game and stuff. But yeah, so far so good. And the combat's a lot of fun. I like how some things just work in the game. The example I'll give is I was in that tutorial dungeon and there was a spot where there was poison clouds and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So at first I used my flaming arrow to ignite the poison clouds, and then I kept playing and I died. Then I reloaded and I was like, I only have a finite number of flaming arrows. So let me try something. So I went and I picked up a candle and I walked over and I dropped it in the poison clouds and it cleared. And I was like, wow, I love it when things just work.
Yeah.
When you're like, I wonder if this will work. Oh, wait, it does.
Yeah, I have to give credit to this game because the level of thought into how the environment reacts to different things is pretty on point. And there's a
Yeah,
lot of I feel like one of the funnest one of the best parts of that game is just trying to find creative ways of using the environment to your advantage.
yeah. I walk into a village and there's a boat on fire, and I'm like, I've got a rain spell. Let's see if this works. Oh, wow, it does. What do you know?
What do
So
you?
yeah, I really like that. But yeah, I'm still just getting started. I mean, I'm like 2 hours in, and this is sort of like a 100-hour game. So I've barely scratched the surface. Um, but so far so good. Funny story though. This is probably going to be the last podcast we record where I'm prior to XCOM 2 coming to consoles.
Oh yeah, so is that going to be out next week?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. This will be interesting. It's been a long journey, but it's finally come to this.
Journey.
Waz finally gets to play XCOM 2.
Oh yeah. Anyway, I just came to that realization when we started recording the podcast, and it just makes me smile.
Yeah.
It just makes me smile.
I really I wish you the best of luck. I just hope that they put enough time into that version to make it decent.
Yeah, that would be really disappointing if after this long ass wait, the PS4 version comes out and it's booty butt cheeks. So yeah, fingers crossed and all that good stuff. Speaking of booty butt cheeks, let's talk about these free games for
Microsoft Games with Gold.
Yeah, this is a pretty bad month for Microsoft. There's just no other way to cut this. Everybody Golf, I think that's what it called. That's what it's called.
No, it's Mega Baseball.
Mega Baseball. Sorry, yeah, I'm not even paying attention. Super Mega Baseball, The Escapist. Those are the two games for the Xbox One. They have I Am Alive and MX versus ATV Reflex for the Xbox 360 and Xbox One. This is a terrible month. I don't think there's any other way to.
It's not honestly the most prevalent game on this list that at least I know of is I Am Alive, and most people that I've talked to that played I Am Alive say it's like a 7 out of 10. Like it's an okay game,
Yeah.
It's not really amazing or anything like that. I think this is that the thing is that this is a list of just okay games,
Yeah.
Nothing really. It's not like there's not like a journey on this list.
Yeah. I mean, they had a couple of nice months, so I guess they were due for a pretty bad one, and this is a pretty bad one. Unfortunately, Sony haven't released their games for the month.
Yes, they have. This is some. Oh, you mean for October? Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, unfortunately, Sony haven't released their games, so we can't do the comparisons. But apparently, The Escapist isn't bad.
Yeah, no, I've heard pretty good things about The Escapist.
But yeah, overall, not impressed.
Oh well, maybe next month. Maybe next month.
Maybe next month. Continuing with the theme of lack of being impressed. I'm trying. I'm trying to tie it all together with these transitions.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, Dark Souls released a trailer for its DLC. How'd you feel about this?
I was fine with it, to be honest. I wasn't like, oh man, this sucks. Because this is sort of like, okay, they're doing. You also have to understand is that obviously they're not going to show the stingers because that's the whole point.
Oh yeah.
So I understand where it's like they were very piecemeal. I actually stopped watching half of the trailer because I didn't want to see any more. Because I didn't want to, I knew that they were going to show off some of the boss, and I actually didn't want to see that. I wanted to experience that for, the first time when I played the DLC. But, they showed off, it was very piecemeal. They showed off this more big open area that's sort of like a forest, sort of like a snowy forest.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of guys, they're throwing javelins, they've got, this fire aspect. One thing I will say though that I liked about it was I did like the environmental stuff with the snow, where you be walking over what seems to be like a safe area, and then the snow sort of caves in and you end up in a lower area.
Mm.
I think that's kind of cool because there was some environmental stuff in like the Dark Souls 2 DLC that was a lot of fun. So if there's stuff similar to that, then I'm actually pretty excited for that. The Viking guy looked really really
It
cool.
looks pretty cool.
Yeah, Viking guy was really really cool. But they didn't really show that much in this gameplay trailer, and I don't know if that's just because there's not a whole lot in this particular area of the DLC, or if they specifically they don't want to show off their stingers, you know?
Yeah, for me, I just didn't see the point. Okay, you don't want to show off the stingers, then don't show off the stingers, right?
Right.
Then don't show us anything. Because like I just watched the trailer and I was like, okay, because like the announcement trailer was really cool.
Yeah.
It was paced well. It showed off enough new stuff to get you excited, but it didn't show off too much. At least I don't think it showed off too much. I guess we'll find out when the game actually launches. But with this one, for example, he's fighting those dudes, and then he brings out a new weapon. He attacks once, and then he puts it away. And I'm like, he continues to fight with the basic steel sword. And I'm just like, then what? I just didn't see the point of this entire trailer.
Yeah, like I do have to agree with that. I feel like because also the DLC's dropping in October, I felt like this trailer was kind of unnecessary.
Yeah, like when
Yeah.
I got the trailer, I was like, I wasn't even expecting a trailer because I thought they were just gonna. I thought they were just gonna show us the announcement trailer, and then that was pretty much gonna be it. So when I saw the trailer, I was like, oh wow, it's found money, and then I watched the trailer and it was like, oh okay, it's like I found Monopoly money. That's pretty much how it felt. Yeah, it was just, I mean, no new weapon arts, nothing. The new enemy looks cool. The new Viking, he looks
Yeah.
so badass. They also showed some stuff towards the end that I'm guessing you didn't get to.
I don't want to know about because I want it to be a surprise.
There's no surprises in this. Don't worry. Whatever is at the end, you've already. I mean, you saw the big boss with the giant bowl of lava.
Yeah, but I saw that in that trailer, but I don't want to know any more about it. You know?
Well, they didn't show any more about it, so there you go.
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, I understand where you're coming from with that, but seriously, you're not missing anything. Wait, how far into this trailer did you make it?
I made it to the Viking guy, and then I stopped.
Okay. There is one thing in here that might be a bit of a surprise for you, so I'm never going to play that shit and spoil it or anything. But so yeah, that was pretty cool. But other than that, yeah, the trailer was.
Yeah, it felt unnecessary. You know.
It felt unnecessary. Yeah.
Like.
I mean, I'm still excited for this.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I will be buying this day one for sure because I want to get back into the wonderful world of Dark Souls. But yeah,
the
it's
one
like
issue for me is that, and it's the same thing I ran into with the Bloodborne DLC. I don't have a character to play this DLC with. My New Game Plus character is over leveled, so if I if I fight this boss with that character, it's probably going to be free. Maybe I'm wrong. And maybe they'll step it up. But so far, New Game Plus has been so unbelievably easy. I have no reason to believe that'll change with the DLC. And then my other character, I think I've only beaten like 3 bosses with that character. So I'm definitely going to be under-leveled for this. So yeah I'm not. So
that's why you kind of put yourself in a nefarious position. But then again, well, with me, I feel like I'm in a decent position because obviously I don't care for New Game Plus. So when the game asked me, "Would you like to go into New Game Plus?" I was like, "No," and I have my character just sitting there, and he's essentially just waiting for the DLC to drop, and then I'll.
What level is your character?
I think he ended up about a level 106.
You might be over levels too.
Maybe. I don't know, because it took like I probably will be over leveled because the thing about the Dark Souls DLC in general is that you can access it before the end of the game.
Yeah.
So you're going to be, if you're using a character who's beaten the game pretty much, then yeah, you're going to be over leveled to a certain extent. I don't know. Like, regardless of whether or not I'm over leveled or not, I'm still gonna have fun, and because I'm actually really terrible at Dark Souls, I'll probably still have a challenge waiting for me with the bosses and whatnot. So I'm still like super excited for this, for sure. I'm just curious. I am curious. Honestly, like it's a weird thing, but I'm really curious why they showed those other bosses in the DLC trailer. The bosses that are in the base game.
Mm.
I'm really curious why they did that because the implication that there will be new mechanics with these bosses with the DLC really interests me.
I wouldn't get your hopes up with that because
They
I did the
did it.
same
They
thing.
did it with Dark Souls One.
They did, but because what I was getting to is that as I did the same thing with the trailer for the Bloodborne DLC, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because the trailer shows like a bunch of the old bosses, and I'm like, oh, maybe, and then it turns out no. So, and I mean, the one thing I did with Dark Souls One is like I mean, it was like a small thing, right? With Sif, that's the name of the
Yeah,
girl.
Sif. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, they might do it. I'm just saying, keep your hopes down,
Yeah, I guess.
because yeah, I did
Guess.
that. Like I did that with Bloodborne, and I was left sorely disappointed.
Hmm. Ludwig was cool, but yeah,
Ludwig was
yeah,
badass as all hell.
yeah. Another Berserk reference. God, if there's a drinking game for the Dark Souls series, just take a drink every time something from Berserk pops up. It's like ridiculous.
Yeah.
But our next piece of news, we've got Street Fighter V DLC. This is kind of interesting. They basically all the DLC characters have been released at least for season one, right?
Yep.
So now what they're doing is that they're adding the color bundles for about $5 to $2 for all the characters. So if you didn't
Or
want to
five money. Or five money.
or fight money. Yes, sorry, my bad. Or fight money. So if you didn't want to grind your way through the survival mode to get the colors, you can either just buy them with fight money or real money. And also they're going to be adding daily challenges, and I think they said something about adding more
Stage
stage
transition.
transitions because I want to see the noodle stuff. The noodle stuff is fantastic. But honestly, I'm okay. I'm actually okay with this. I think it's nice that at least there's an option to skip the grind.
Yeah.
Because if you care about colors, which I actually do care a lot about colors, it is kind of nice to just like, all right, I don't want to have to grind my way through survival to get these colors. Let's just skip this. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
What
They
did you
also
think
they
about
also
this?
added that all premium costumes will include colors 3 to 10 now when purchased. So you won't have to buy the costume and then start grinding out survival mode. And those that
Okay.
have already purchased the premium costumes, the remaining will automatically unlock for them.
Yeah, yeah,
Honestly, all this stuff is really cool.
yeah. Hmm.
It's just like I don't know. For me, I feel like it's just too late at this point I'm looking at some of this stuff and I'm like, it really took you guys this long. Like
Yeah, like it's
there was snow in my backyard when this game launched, and it took you until fall to implement these things that really should have been there day one. Like the idea that I would pay money for a costume and then have to start grinding out to unlock colors for the costume was so unbelievably stupid. I didn't believe it when I saw it. Like when I put in the Chun Li costume and I checked it and I saw there were only two colors, I couldn't believe it. I was like, they didn't actually just do that. So yeah,
yeah.
man, for me, a lot of this stuff, I'm just like,
It's one of those things where it's like it's kind of sad in a way where it's like, man, if this game had if Street Fighter Five had just, what, I feel like they just should have delayed it. They should have delayed it
yeah,
they should have delayed it till like literally the fall. They should have
yeah.
just
If
delayed it, and the game would have come out with pretty much all of its features. I feel like it's one of those things that kind of sucks. Where I feel like this was a game that was rushed for Evo,
Oh yeah,
and
they rushed it for even. They rushed it. It wasn't just they rushed it for the Capcom Pro Tour because the Pro Tour started in like March, I think. So they
yeah,
rushed it out so that it could be part of the Cap. Like at this point, I don't have any like factual evidence behind this, but I feel like there is enough um, circumstantial evidence
yeah,
to stand by that claim. I mean, I don't think anyone can deny Street Fighter Five wasn't rushed. So the only real discussion is what was it rushed for, and
yeah,
considering it came out right before the Capcom Pro Tour started, I think that is exactly I think that's exactly what happened. Because yeah, man, if the game had launched now with all of these features, I definitely would have bought it because I bought it in February with
Yeah.
like half these features, you know.
Yeah,
And I
like,
definitely bought it. And sure, the training modes thing would have still pissed me off, right?
yeah.
But all the other little stuff that, because like I said, man, it was the little stuff that pushed me away from this game.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, by the way, Urine's also out. But yeah, it was the little stuff that pushed me away from this game. Like,
Yeah.
the fact that I would unlock a costume. I'd have to beat story mode with a character. I mean, now granted, the story mode was so short, that really didn't even. So beat story mode with a character, then I think use fight money to buy that character's alternate costume, and then beat survival mode with that alternate costume to unlock all the colors. It was so padded. It was so unbelievably padded.
Yeah.
I was genuinely insulted. So yeah, man. This is really, all this stuff is good. All this stuff is like, hats off to them for actually doing this. But you know,
It's like we're happy that you guys did it. We just wish you did it sooner.
yeah,
Essentially.
yeah, and better late than never, I guess.
Yeah, like that's I think that's always something I like to stress is that, like, I know too many companies that they just wouldn't do anything,
Yeah,
and I can give credit, like, I like to give credit where credit is due, for sure.
yeah. So
But
thanks for adding all this stuff, Capcom. And I don't even mean that sarcastically.
yeah.
Good shit. But we'll see. Maybe this can be the first step of the healing.
Of the healing, yeah. Like, maybe when we get Super Street Fighter 5, which will probably be, even though they said they didn't want to do that, I can almost guarantee that something like that will happen down the road. Like, there'll be some super version of Street Fighter 5, which will have all the DLC included and whatnot, and then will be the time to go back,
Yeah.
But we'll have to see. But other than that, we've got Dishonored 2 gameplay. Showed off a bunch of cool stuff, creative kills and whatnot. So basically, it showed off some cool stuff. I think what they've implied is that, because they've shown off that there's two characters in the game. There's the guy and then there's the girl. I forget their names. But you can choose between the guy and the girl. And essentially, they have different abilities that are associated with them. Some of them probably have this similar abilities that they can both use, but I think there's ones that they get alone. So I find that kind of interesting. The girl has a really cool doppelganger ability in which she can make a clone of herself and then switch to that clone. And some of them have, like, grabbing abilities and obviously time-bending abilities and whatnot.
Corvo and Emily, by the way.
Yeah, okay, Corvo and Emily, thank you. So, like, it's a lot of really cool stuff, and I'm, like, I think whenever I see this, I think of the cool, because I've been playing Deus Ex Mankind Divided, right?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of really cool mechanics and different takedown methods that you can use in that game. So when I get to see stuff like this, where you can use the environment, you can use special abilities, you can, use doppelgangers, but I always get excited for this because it's like, I feel like that's a cool mechanic. Like I said, I still have that copy of Dishonored I've yet to play yet, and I really need to do that. But I don't know. I think it's really, really cool. It's kind of funny when I saw this trailer. I was like, oh yeah, this game is coming out in November. So it actually is pretty soon. What did you think of the trailer, though?
It looks cool. I don't know. There's something about this game that's just never captured my interest. I bought it on the PS3. Okay, so I bought it on the PS3 a little while before. One, I got a PS4. Two, it became free on PlayStation Plus, and the three, it's got ported to the PS4. So this game is one of, and then on top of that, I barely even played it. So this game is one of the purchases that I regret the absolute most. Partly because, like, I know even because it's like a bad game or anything, right?
It's just you bought it at, like, the worst possible time.
At, like, the worst possible time. And then the worst part about it is that I've been holding off on buying it for so long because I just felt like it was going to come to PlayStation Plus. You remember back in the day when we used to get, like, actual games on PlayStation Plus. Sorry, I just had to throw that out there. But yeah, like I didn't want to buy it because I felt like it was coming. You know, it just felt like the kind of game that was coming to PlayStation Plus. And then
Yeah.
I held off for like 3 months, no joke, maybe even four. And then the month I buy, I think 2 months later, it came to PlayStation Plus. Then a couple months later, the PS4 goes on sale, so I buy that. And then a couple months after that, they announce it's coming to the to the
PS4.
PS4. So I was just like, wow. So yeah, I never got it. I never really got a chance to get into the game. But I also stopped playing the game around the time that I think it was gonna get good, because I just got the blink ability
Yeah.
right as I stopped playing. So yeah, I do dislike the art style. I definitely don't like the art style. It's weird. I love the look of the environment. I hate the look of the characters.
It is a very it makes me think of like it's a very British like look to it. In a weird way it's kind of Fable-ish, you know? Like the
Yeah,
way some of the character models looked in Fable. That's what it kind of
yeah,
reminds me of.
yeah.
And there's definitely like some people like that type of design, and other people are kind of turned off by it. And I can totally get that because there's a certain style to it.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, I liked the designs in Fable, but yeah, no, I definitely see the similarity. I definitely see what you mean.
but like
But overall, the game is
yeah,
looking pretty cool. I'm interested to see how it's going to be received, because the first game was a pleasant surprise for Bethesda. It sold a lot more than they thought it was going to.
yeah.
So you know, we'll see if the second builds on that or if it was lightning in a bottle.
Yeah, like I don't know. I feel like there's enough going for this game that I'm sure it will sell fine.
Yeah.
Like I mean they've advertised it at least um two of their events, so people know about it. It's not like people don't know about this game. And yeah, I think like this type of genre of game is becoming more and more popular after like Human Revolution was a really big success, and
Mm.
this type of game stealth environment kind of stuff I think is really coming back, which I like because this is a type of genre that I really like. I really like it a lot. Because I remember back in the day, because me and my friend Alex, we used to play a lot of the Splinter Cell games,
Ah.
and we missed those days. We missed those days with the really deep level of stealth mechanics, and obviously Splinter Cell kind of lost its way along the line.
That's putting it mildly.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's I'm still excited. And we'll have to see how it goes from this point on. But lastly, we have Mafia 3. We got a new trailer talking about how to make money in the world of Mafia 3.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting. It talked about how you can find these sort of like areas that are, obviously run by different crime bosses. Go in, shoot the place up, and you have the option to kill that crime boss or try and recruit it. And you can either get you can either get a decent amount of money right away, or you can get a bigger amount of money over time because it's like
Yeah.
a recruitment process. They also talked about how when you die, you will lose a ton of your money, and how important it is to try and store your money in these sort of what is it, conseri? I'm trying to remember the
Concierge?
yeah, those which I find kind of interesting because it's like it's making it so yeah, you gotta constantly don't forget to drop your cash in the bank.
That was pretty interesting. It caught me off guard because I mean, you know, sorry you weren't done yet.
No. Actually, go with your point. I'm curious.
Okay, yeah, because you know, as someone who's played a lot of Grand Theft Auto and games like that, you know, normally you just make your money. And okay, sure, you lose some when you die, but that's about it, right? But
Yeah.
yeah, here they're like that. Oh no, you actually have to save your money, and it's interesting. It's
Mm-hmm.
interesting. The like Mafia 3 as a whole is a game that I'm really curious about, you know,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm like it's because I mean like I'm kind of tired of the open world criminal games. I
Hmm.
hated GTA 4 and 5 and Red Dead Redemption. But then you also notice a pattern with all those
Oh,
games is they're all Rockstar.
Red Dead Redemption is perfectly fine. I can understand you not liking GTA or GTA 5. Red Dead Redemption's great. Don't know what you've
Okay, but
done.
I didn't like it. So anyway, was this? But those are all Rockstar games. So
Hmm.
maybe I'm just tired of the way Rockstar do open world games. But I feel like the big issue that I had with all three of those games actually, right? And this all started with Fallout 3, right? Was that
Right.
Fallout 3? I played that open world game. I think
Hmm.
my first one was that I put open world RPGs and and sandbox games. I put them in the same um in this
Yeah. If you want to understand where this stems from, you should listen to our last podcast about the great RPG debate.
yeah, like I put them under the same umbrella, right? When that's just not the case, like Grand Theft Auto is not built to be as open as like a Fallout or an Elder Scrolls or even a
No.
Witcher or even a Mass Effect, so that so there was that expectation, like I'll like the games just felt so restrictive in comparison, so that really killed some of my buzz. However,
Hmm.
this game looks pretty interesting. It looks pretty interesting. I'm liking a lot of the stuff. At the very least, it has a more interesting what's this thing called? Setting, because
Yes. Yeah.
it's set like in the post Vietnam, in a fictional city in post Vietnam, and they're really really gonna put the whole racial thing they're really gonna squeeze the whole racial thing into the
Hmm.
game. Like apparently there's certain neighborhoods that if you're driving around them, you're because there's like a your the cops just start getting really suspicious. I guess it's pretty much just where
Hmm.
it's pretty much what I deduced. Can you hear that baby?
No.
Okay, cool. Because yeah, there's a baby in the hallway just wailing.
uh.
Anyway, one thing to add though is that they also detailed some free DLC that they were gonna release with the game.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they detailed the game's DLC setup, whatever. I can't remember.
Yeah, well, it's essentially they're saying that post launch, they're going to have free updates along with some paid DLC
Paid stuff.
expansion.
Yeah, very similar to The Witcher 3,
Yeah.
in fact. Because, yeah, they're going to have a bunch of new outfits that are all going to be free.
Hmm.
Weapons, more vehicle customization, and races. And then in terms of actual paid stuff, they're going to have, like, story-based expansion. So, pretty much almost identical to The Witcher. In fact, yes, exactly identical to The Witcher 3, which is fine. I mean, if you're going to copy someone, copy one of the awarded games of the past, copy the most awarded game of the past year. So, yeah. But yeah, overall, man, this game looks interesting.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, honestly, I think the coolest thing about this game is definitely the setting. Like, that is one of the creative
Yeah,
aspects of it.
yeah.
I mean, like the game, like there's some interesting stuff to it. I still think the gameplay is obviously taking aspects from a bunch of different sandbox games and trying to bring it into its own. But I am interested. I'm curious how the setting and the story will be fleshed out in this game when we get to see it, and hopefully it's good.
Yeah,
I found it interesting. Apparently, there is a character from Mafia 2 that is
yeah,
a
yeah.
captain. Um,
Uh, one thing to add though is that if this game, okay, so Battlefield 1 is probably going to sell well. I think despite the fact that I think Call of Duty Infinite Warfare is going to sell more, I still think
mhm.
Battlefield 1 is going to sell well.
Oh, absolutely. Come on. It's got the name and everything.
So I think it's going to sell well.
Yeah.
Battlefield 1 has a I don't know how I don't we don't know much about the story, but based on the cover, I'm going to assume that the protagonist is black.
I think the way Battlefield 1 is probably going to be structured is probably going to be multiple. Like it's not going to just be one
Like Modern
character.
Warfare.
Yeah. Sorry?
Like Modern Warfare.
Yeah, kinda. Modern Warfare was like two people, but I mean like I'm thinking more back to like the very, very like first Call of Duty, in which it had a really interesting story setup where it was like following like a big group of soldiers and their perspectives and whatnot.
Oh, okay, okay, okay,
So it might be something similar to that. I don't know.
okay.
But we'll have to see when the game comes out. I'm still confident that my Battlefield 1 will beat you, but that's just me.
But the point I was getting at is
Mm-hmm.
that if this game and Battlefield 1 both do really well,
Mm-hmm.
that'd be two um, video games with black protagonists selling really well in the span of like 3 months, which would be pretty cool.
Yeah,
So yeah,
absolutely.
we'll see how this game does. I'm really interested in the reviews,
Mm-hmm.
specifically Yahtzee's review. Now to be fair, Yahtzee hates everything, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but Yahtzee's review of the Grand Theft Auto games really reflected how I felt about them.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking forward to hearing what he has to say about this when it comes out. But yeah, it's always difficult to like base an opinion on a Yahtzee review because there's some like he just exaggerates some things just
Well,
for the sake.
like some of the Yahtzee's reviews, I totally get where he's coming from, but then there's other Yahtzee reviews where I'm like, oh, okay, Yahtzee, all right.
To be fair, he actually stated once that I can't remember what game it was that he gave a positive review for, and people just didn't react very well to it. So he's like that he just makes a conscious effort to be negative because people.
Oh yeah, he did say that. He said that in one of his early reviews, he did a review of Psychonauts,
Mm.
and people didn't like him being super positive. So then they just said, "All right, I'm just gonna review a shitty game then."
So yeah, now even when he reviews positive games, like his Fallout 3 review, he starts it off with like, "Oh, this game is actually pretty good," but then he spends the rest of the video shitting on it the whole
Yeah.
time. Um, I mean, his Dark Souls review though, like he couldn't even try to be negative with that. He was just like, "Yo, this game
Well, it
is."
was funny because he was talking about how he refused to review the game because of the barrier.
Yeah,
But
well, because
then,
of the fans specifically, he really didn't like the Dark Souls fans, and I can
yeah.
definitely relate. No offense.
But no, like it was interesting. Yeah.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, by the way, I forget. We actually have a question of the day from
oh, we
the
do. Nice, nice.
from the lovely J Streets.
J
So
Street.
the sorry, J Street says, "What game would you buy an Xbox One for?"
Like that is currently out, or like
Or that's coming out.
that's coming out. Ooh, that's a toughie. There
That
are
is a toughie.
that's a
Oh yeah, yeah. That okay. I don't know if he means like if this game was on Xbox One, even if like even a game that isn't currently coming to Xbox
oh,
One,
okay.
but if it was, if you get what I mean. I don't know if he means
No,
that.
well, maybe let's take it from both perspectives. If it's a game that's already out or coming out for Xbox One, I would say Killer Instinct
Yeah,
because
same.
I really want to play Killer Instinct.
Yeah, same here.
I actually did get to play it at Fan Expo for
Oh,
a bit, and
how was it?
it felt really good, but I had a line behind me,
Uh,
so I kind of couldn't really look at the move list or do anything like that. So I just hit buttons and got my ass kicked. So I mean, I was having fun, and I love the way that game looks, and I love all the characters in that game. But yeah, that's the one. That's always the one game when I think, man. Actually, sorry. There's two. There's that and Cuphead.
oh, Cuphead.
Yeah,
Yes, yes,
yeah.
that
That's
is true.
But if honestly, there's a ton of games that I could say that if they were like if here's a good example. Let's say we lived in an insanity world and
It is one for them.
Monster Hunter 5 made its way to the Xbox One, then I'd have to get an Xbox One because I gotta play Monster Hunter. There's
Yeah,
just
I feel you. I feel you. Yeah, for me, it would definitely be Unreal Championship 2.
oh yeah, yeah.
Sorry, Unreal Championship 3. Or an HD re-release of Unreal Championship 2. If
Mm-hmm.
either of those were coming to the Xbox One, I would
Mm-hmm.
already own an Xbox One. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. In terms of games that are already out, I'd have to go with Killer Instinct, just like you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I just love that game, and okay. Well, I can't really say if I love it. I haven't played it. But the game just looks
It looks so
so
good.
cool and stuff. But yeah, other than that, shit, I can't I can't think of. There's a bunch of games that looked really cool at first, and then they came out and they didn't look as cool, like
Hmm.
Recore. What was the other one? This one isn't out yet, but Scalebound. Like the more I've seen of it, the less interested I've
Hmm.
become, and
To be
yeah,
fair,
yeah.
I was less interested from the moment it got announced. So
Really?
yeah, like honestly, when I saw Scalebound, I saw that main protagonist, I saw the concept, and I was like, okay. Like I was never that intrigued by it the way that some people were. And then when the other trailers came out for it, I just became less intrigued by it. So,
Yeah, the E3 gameplay was probably the final nail in the coffin for me,
mhm.
where I was watching and I was like, this just looks boring, you know? Now, maybe the game is actually end up being good, but it's one of those situations where I'm like that, well, I don't even own an Xbox One, so why
So
am I putting effort into trying to like this game, right?
that you'll
Yeah.
probably not get either way. So.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, like I think of the Killer Instinct, Cuphead's also really good. I actually got hands on Cuphead at Fan Expo as well. Boy is that game hard. Like you have to get good. Because the level, like, you have to have really good reflexes essentially. You have to be able to predict patterns essentially,
Mhm.
and because it's a bullet hell game, right?
Yeah.
And but it's like the best looking bullet hell game ever because of the art style and how it looks, right? So like it is really really hard though. But I feel like it's fair enough that you could play it and get experience. The only thing I think is that I feel like something because most of them are just boss battles, right?
Yeah.
And there's a little bit of platforming from time to time. But I feel like some of the boss battles, I just feel like I love the game, but I feel like some of the boss battles should be just a tad shorter because on there's only two modes. There's normal, quote unquote, and then there's hard. And like I feel like this game would just be a little bit better if it's just the boss battles weren't so as long because it gets really freaking hard to survive when you're dealing with some of those patterns. But the game looks so good. It just looks so good.
It does look so good. One of these days, that game is gonna have to come out.
Yeah, one of these days. They've been really quiet about it. All things considered, like
Yeah.
it's not really one of those games that people kind of go, "Oh yeah, that was a thing," and it's weird. It is very very weird. But yeah, those are the two that I can think of on the top of my head, at least for now, because I'm trying to think of any other Xbox or Microsoft games that have always really intrigued me, and it made me go, man, I really, really, really want this. But you also have to understand, I'm in a lucky position in which
PC.
I have a PC, and a lot of the games that are Xbox One games end up making their way to the PC. So like there's not a whole lot of like exclusives that I can think of at the moment. That like 'cause I think Cuphead is going to come to the PC as well. Like I think
Probably.
yeah. So like that's the thing. It's like it's not even really an exclusive. So if I really want to play Cuphead, I can still play it. I'm just gonna have to play it on my PC.
Yeah.
I don't know, like if Xbox if XCOM, like let's say fantasy game, if XCOM 3 was only a Xbox One game, then shit. You know? Like here like think of a series where what's a game series that you really really like, Fawaz, and their next big game.
XCOM?
Yeah, okay, yeah, so there we go, yeah. So if XCOM 3 was on the Xbox One, would you get an Xbox One?
No. No. Because I didn't get a PC for XCOM 2, right? So
Right, so you're just gonna wait?
yeah, I'd
Nope.
probably just wait. But if it was, yeah. So I guess to be fair, like the real answer to Jason's question is nothing because there is actually nothing that would make me buy another console. I'll never buy a console for one game. ever. Wow, it's funny how after all of this, we came to this revelation. Yeah, I'll never actually buy a console for one game. But in this mythical world where I have like a lot of money and I'm just looking for a reason, then sure, yeah, XCOM 3 would probably make me buy an Xbox One. But yeah, the only exception to that rule is Warcraft 4. Like I've said multiple times on this podcast, the day Warcraft 4 comes out is the last day that I will not own a game in PC.
Yeah. Like for me, it's like usually I'm with you, but I have to admit there are some exceptions. Because I have flat out jumped to several different consoles just trying to follow Monster Hunter.
Oh my god, Tanner.
Like I did. Because I had the PS2, played Monster Hunter 1, great. Then I was like, crap, I want to play Monster Hunter 2, but it's not out on the PS2 for North America. Oh wait, there's a version of it on the PSP, so I buy a PSP. And I'm playing Monster Hunter 2 Freedom on that. I'm like, sweet, can't wait for Monster Hunter 3 on the PlayStation 2 or the PS3, and then it comes out for the Wii. And I'm like, shit, alright, I'll get a Wii. So I get the Wii, play Monster Hunter Tri, and I also play Smash Brothers, so that was a lot of fun. And then I'm like, alright, can't wait for Monster Hunter 4. Oh, great, it's on the 3DS now. Alright, time to get a 3DS. So I buy a 3DS, and then I'm like, alright, so far Monster Hunter games have stayed on the 3DS, and I have a sneaking suspicion that there's going to be another Monster Hunter game on the NX. So I'm like, see what I mean? Where I'm like, Christ.
Yeah.
The dark road I've gone down. But anyway,
awesome. Awesome
great question. Yeah, great question, J Streets. Keep them up. But with that, we'll have to end the podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. If you leave a comment in the comment section, we'll make sure to answer it in the next podcast. And as always, I'm your host, William Liberty, and...
Well, Muhammad Yusuf.
See you guys next time.